Good day. I welcome you back, Dr. Scott, your online headache doc, the only doctor of any kind certified by both the American and international boards of commonsensical medicine. Welcome back to Relief at Last, what your doctor won't tell you about your migraines, your headaches, and your ongoing pain. Today's question of the day: my doctor has told me that my migraines are hereditary, so how can there be a cure? Well, let me give you a two-part answer. There is no cure for quote-unquote migraines because migraines is not a true diagnosis. Migraines is a medical or a false diagnosis. So, as we say many times over on the Online Headache Doc podcast, a true diagnosis is not simply regurgitating your symptoms right back at you. So, migraines is just a term to describe the symptoms that you're having. If migraines affect your balance or cause dizziness, you might be labeled as having vestibular migraines. If migraines affect your vision, you might be labeled as having ocular migraines. There are countless ways to name your headache and migraine symptoms, all the while never receiving a true diagnosis. And if you don't know what the cause of your migraines is, you and your doctor are simply guessing, and we will never guess with your health at the Online Headache Doc. So, a true diagnosis must be obtained before getting treatment of any kind. And a true diagnosis is what is going on inside of your body that's resulting in your migraine symptoms. So, there is no cure for migraines because migraines is just regurgitating your symptoms. However, if you are able to find an expert that can help you pinpoint with certainty the real, true cause of your migraine symptoms, that would be your true diagnosis. And once that is pinpointed, then absolutely a personalized, customized treatment plan can then be put into place that's actually going to address the cause, not attempt to temporarily manage your symptoms. Next, aren't migraines a hereditary condition? Well, let me share this with you. I was also told for years that my migraines were hereditary because I had one other immediate family member that had experienced migraines. However, here's the reality. There is what the medical community calls the genetic theory of migraines. So there's a theory, not provable by published medical research, by the way, but a theory that if another family member, especially an immediate family member, also had migraines, and then you are now developing migraine symptoms, that it must be hereditary. Again, that is simply a theory, because another immediate family member having migraine symptoms does not mean hereditary. Hereditary means there's an identifiable genetic connection. We can pinpoint through laboratory testing and gene testing, this is what's going on that is causing your headaches, and it is clearly due to a genetic disorder, therefore it is hereditary. That is not the case with the vast majority of migraines. The vast majority of migraines, of all types by the way, are not due to an identifiable genetic condition, but the most common category, and that is lifestyle or environmental. Let me describe that in a little bit more detail. In my practice of, gee whiz, I'm approaching 32 years now in private practice, specializing exclusively 100% in migraine, headache, and specific upper spinal disorders. And in the last 10 to 15 years, we have seen a spike in the number of younger children presenting to our practice with migraines and headaches of other types. Now, would that mean that the genetic factors are somehow increasing in the last 10 or 15 years? No, of course not. But if we look at lifestyle factors, I say this jokingly, but I guess it's actually pretty true, and that is the number one referral source of kids to my practice that are battling headaches and migraines is electronic devices. When someone has their head and their neck flexed forward, looking downward for extended periods of time, this does two things. Number one, it bends your neck and upper spine in the opposite direction of normal. So human beings, from the time we can hold our heads upright as infants, should have a smooth forward arch shape in our necks. And this smooth forward arch shape acts as a built-in shock absorber, kind of like a built-in spring that is designed to protect our spinal cord. And when you're looking down with your head and neck in a flexed position, especially for extended periods of time, this is completely removing and reversing the normal forward arch shape that keeps pressure from building on your spinal cord and in your spinal canal. And as we know from decades upon decades of proven, published medical research, the number one cause of migraines of all types is not a head problem. There is no identifiable problem in your head. We can do MRIs and CT scans, and the vast majority of the time, they are unremarkable. They're normal. But if we look just a bit below that, where the brain and spinal cord meet, in the upper part of your spinal canal, this is where the vast majority of migraine and headache symptoms originate. Pressure in the upper part of your spinal canal due to an abnormal shape or structure of the upper part of your spine. This is what the medical research continues to demonstrate and has continued to demonstrate since the 1950s and continuing to this day. Look, just because your doctors are not aware of this proven published medical research doesn't mean that you should ignore it and sweep it under the rug. You absolutely must become the expert on your migraines and your headaches if you want a fighting chance of finding significant, long-lasting relief from your migraines and headaches. There is no other way. As you've heard me say countless times, doctors, therapists, chiropractors, any type of healthcare provider is more than happy to attempt to manage your migraine symptoms, all the while continuing to ignore the real, true cause. Find and fix the cause. There is no other way to living a happy, healthy, active lifestyle again, free from the limitations that are currently imposed on you by your migraines and headaches. So, if number one, you can obtain a true diagnosis, if you can be 100% certain what is going on inside of your body that is resulting in your migraine or headache symptoms, you now have a fighting chance of significant, long-lasting relief. And the most common cause that has been documented for decades is a specific disorder of the upper part of your spine. Once again, rather than having the normal forward arch, which acts as a built-in shock absorber to protect your spinal cord, if we were to bend your finger backwards into the wrong direction that it's clearly not designed to bend into, and we were to hold that backward bending pressure on your finger 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that is analogous to the pressure that is being built on the upper part of your spinal cord. Of course you're going to have migraine or headache symptoms with that much constant pressure. One more fact that I want to throw your way on this episode, and that is many do not develop migraines as young children, but the majority develop migraine and headache symptoms as they get into adolescence, early adulthood, and beyond. So if migraines were purely a genetic condition, the onset of these symptoms would more than likely be much, much sooner in life. But because of our lifestyle factors, the things that we do in our normal day-to-day routine, this pressure builds on the spinal canal over the course of time, and then your migraine symptoms will begin, seemingly, for no apparent reason. So again, well in excess of 90% of our patients here at Headache Relief Center developed their migraines and migraine symptoms gradually, and they've continued to increase over the course of time, and they cannot identify a specific event, an injury, an accident. There isn't one identifiable incident that resulted in their migraines or their headaches. It's developmental, it is acquired over the course of time, and in the vast majority of cases, it is absolutely not hereditary. It is not a genetic condition. Please share this podcast with somebody that you know, somebody that you care about that continues to battle ongoing migraines, headaches of any type. The truth needs to be told. You must become the expert based on the decades upon decades of proven, published medical research, and not continue to rely solely on one professional opinion after another. Because as we know at the Online Headache Doc, opinions are plentiful, and sadly, they all seem to differ and conflict. So if you put all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak, and make all of your healthcare decisions for your migraine and headache care based solely on professional opinions, you're going to end up on the medical merry-go-round of trying things out over and over and over and stop trying things out hoping for relief. Make your decisions based on proven, published medical research. This gives you a chance of finally finding the significant, proven, long-lasting migraine relief that you've been looking for and that you deserve. I'm Dr. Scott, your online headache doc, and those are the facts. And everything else, well, it's just another opinion. The information contained in this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not meant to substitute for your doctor or healthcare provider's advice or recommendations. It is based on Dr. Scott's personal experience battling debilitating migraines for years, as well as his more than 31 years in private practice, specializing exclusively in migraine, headache, and chronic pain disorders. Copyright 2024 by Milagros Media, LLC.